welcome to this episode of Story and Things, a podcast where we review stories.
And we talk about things relating to that story.
I'm your host, Cheli.
And I'm your host, Yajaira.
And we're back.
We're back, baby. I know you missed me. It's been a long week.
I mean, yeah, of course.
For us, at least.
It has been a long week, but I'm more talking about being back here.
In the safe space.
And in the Bridgerton space.
Whoa, wait. If this is your first time hearing us, I just want you to know that Cheli and I started this podcast because of The Duke and I, which is actually Bridgerton, season 1. Thank you.
Yeah, we started it because you had a lot of feelings about Bridgerton. Were they good feelings? I never asked you.
Initially, yeah.
You were down?
They were good feelings at first, yeah.
What happened?
Maybe you should listen to that episode. I don't know. Things just happened, and I started to realize I don't really like Daphne that much. I don't know. She's a little questionable.
So, if you don't know, the last time we spoke, I wasn't really down for the Bridgerton book 1, which was Duke and I. I was very against it.
Yeah.
And I tried being nice. I really did. And Julia Quinn,
huh?
I don't know. I just wasn't a fan. But we're back here.
Like she's even watching this.
We're back here for book 2, though. And if you are watching this, Julie, this one's for you. We're back here for book 2. And I'm really excited to talk about this with you.
I'm so excited. I just want everyone to know that I read the story about a year ago, but I reread it.
For this.
Just for you guys, so that it was fresh in my mind.
I read this story today.
For real. I don't know why it took you so long. It's such a good story.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. It took you so long. You've had that.
Wait, it's such a good story.
You've had this book.
Wait, hold on. What was that?
You've had this.
That was like a little slip.
Let me finish my thought. Anyway, as I was saying, you've had this book in your library for a long time now.
Yeah, it was a good paperweight.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to disagree, but all right.
We're going to talk about the second in the Bridgerton series, The Viscount Who Loves Me, written by Julia Quinn. And just to let you know, Yajaira and I don't know how we both feel about this book. And it's interesting because we both did not like The Duke and I. And really quick, 1 second, don't even explain yourself. What was your rating for Duke and I?
I would give it a 0, but that's not possible. So I'd give her a 1.
A 1. Okay, me too. A 1. So just remember, that's where we started. So
let's see where our journey takes us.
Yeah.
Into the second Bridgerton.
I think that
Me.
didn't hate this story.
Okay.
I don't think you liked it.
Okay.
But I don't think you hated it. You were probably on the ride. And I know you because we both have similar humor. So I can just imagine you reading this on your iPad just like, hell yeah, queen.
Yeah, girl, you ride that horse. Actually, she didn't really ride horses in the book.
Oh, which is a little disappointing. Because,
So, fun fact.
Yeah. But I do feel like you enjoyed reading this.
Okay, interesting.
But I don't know how you feel about it. I'm going to guess that you would give it between a 2.5 or a 3.
Okay.
3 being that, yes, you did enjoy it. I don't know if you want to keep reading the Bridgerton series. My guess is a no.
We're going to have to. Hello?
We didn't agree on this.
We kind of did talk about it. We literally said we're going to have to continue this podcast until Gregory.
Oh my gosh, we're going to be 80 years old!
No, we're not. Don't listen to her.
That'll be our last episode. When Gregory...
Don't say that.
Do you think it's going to get to Gregory?
I don't know. I mean, it's really popular.
It's popping off.
So I'm pretty sure they're on their way.
But my guess is a 2.5 or 3 for your rating out of 5.
Very...
Safe.
Middle ground. That's so safe.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. No risks were taken here.
What about I?
I fucking can't with you. I know you. I know you pretty well, I think. If you gave this anything higher than what I'm going to say, I'd be genuinely shocked. I'm looking into your beautiful mud brown eyes, and I'm going to assume...
I like your small potato eyes.
Why
a bad compliment.
Why are they small?
The color of your eyes.
Uh-huh.
Like the color of small potatoes.
Okay.
That's such a bad compliment. I'm sorry. I love your eyes.
I think you would give it... Okay, here's why I'm going to say this rating. Because I think you liked it more than Duke and I. So I don't think you would give it a 1 like you did Duke and I. I think you would give it somewhere between a 1.5 to a 2.
Okay.
Because you hated Duke and I.
Because this is what you call a honeymoon.
God damn.
Can you imagine if we named this episode The Book and I?
Oh, that's funny. I like that.
Okay, remember that.
I'll write that down. Write that down.
Okay.
So, in case you've been living under a rock, Bridgerton is really popular right now on Netflix. It has so many views. It's a little crazy, honestly.
I know.
But the first season did really well as well as the second season. But the second season is popping off right now because it just recently came out. So in case you didn't see the first season, I'm going to give you a quick summary, which is similar to the book, The Duke and I. Pretty much, we are going through the family tree.
Of the Bridgertons.
Of the Bridgertons. Violet is the mother. Anthony is the eldest. Benedict.
Colin. Daphne. Eloise. Francesca. Gregory.
Oh, Hyacinth is last. I forgot about her. My bad, girly. Anyway, so I guess we'll be here till Hyacinth. And so this series pretty much goes through all of the siblings finding love. And we went through Daphne Bridgerton's journey in the first book / season of the Netflix show. And in the second season / book, we will be going through Anthony's journey on finding love. And he's actually the eldest, so
yes.
Fun fact. So in this book, Anthony's journey of finding a wife is a little strict. He has one major important rule for himself, and that's don't fall in love, because he is convinced that he will die young, similarly to his father. And he doesn't want to put his family through that heartbreak. So he's like, you know what? I'm not going to marry for love. I'm just here to procreate, and then I'm going to dip. But then he meets someone who challenges his rule. Thank you.
Your summaries are so good, dude. It's funny because
they're so concise. Thank you.
It's funny because when we first started our podcast, back in the Duke and I,
Duke and I days,
we literally used the entire episode to summarize the book. You remember that?
I hated it.
Oh my god.
Because we were so fixated on the details, because the details do matter, but at the same time, we want you to go through this journey and then come back, and then we'll just tell you the spoiler bits.
Yeah, so it's more of a discussion now. So we talk about the little things that we liked and questions that we have for each other and what we thought. So if you want to be part of that, come join us. But
that was your spoiler-free summary. If you haven't seen the Netflix show, I'm going to assume you have, though. So if you want to read the book, go for it. But warning, the book is very different from the show.
Yeah. And
super different.
Why don't we focus more so on the book right now? Talking about the book.
Okay.
So there are a few tropes that I wanted to mention, and you tell me if you would agree with me. One of the tropes that is in this book and also show is enemies to lovers. Would you agree?
I agree, but they were bigger enemies in the show.
Would you also agree if I said it was forced proximity?
Yes.
Because our characters are around each other, but they're not really the ones trying to court each other.
Yeah, because Anthony is courting Edwina, which is Kate's sister. So Kate is actually the love interest, but Anthony is courting Edwina because she just seems like more Viscountess vibes.
Would you also say that it's a soulmates story?
No.
No? But they're soulmates.
Do you have any sources?
No, I'm just saying.
No. No, I don't think they're soulmates.
True love, though.
Maybe.
Why don't we start talking about our characters? And I want to start off with Anthony.
Our good boy Anthony.
Our good boy Anthony. Just a little reminder, I fucking hated Anthony in the first one.
He was so annoying with how he handled Daphne and Simon. And I remember... I sent you and Niles a link when they first announced that the next season was going to be focused on Anthony. And I didn't know that the second book was on Anthony, okay? So then I sent you that link and I was like, dear God, please no. I mean, his character wasn't really developed in the first book, but I mean, I don't think it was meant to. He was just kind of there.
Yeah.
As the protective brother / annoying brother. But, okay, so let's get into Anthony's character in this book. And remember, in the book, it's very different from the show. So I'm going to focus on the book first.
Okay.
So in the book, Anthony is convinced that he will die young because his father died
at the age of 39 from a bee sting.
Right. And they didn't understand that he had an allergy to the bee. He just thought, oh my God, he was bested by this bee. So he thinks that he's going to die. So he's in a hurry to find a wife because he's like, I only have so many years left because I think he's already 31.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
No, he's 29.
Oh, okay. So he's 29. And so when he sees Edwina, that's like the perfect girl for him, right? But because of how she is and how she's perceived and not really for her heart or who she actually is. But Kate is kind of like in the way. And Anthony loves a good challenge. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to find my way in this girl's life, which is Edwina.
Are you down for him though? Like, do you like him?
In the book?
Yeah.
I did like him.
Okay. I'm okay with that. So Anthony in this book, I feel like was, like you said, a lot more developed. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to repeat anything you said, but I did want to mention that, just as a reminder, he is a rake.
A capital R rake, though.
Yeah, which
There's
just
a
means
difference.
He sleeps around. Mm-hmm. And that's not what bothers me about him. I just kind of hate that anything he says has to go in his mind. Can you remind me?
He doesn't have room for compromise.
No, he doesn't. But the thing is, that's his character, and I can understand if he's hard-headed. There are a few things that bothered me about Anthony. Mm-hmm. But overall, I actually did really like him in this book. So, yeah, I don't have a big problem with him.
Okay. Yeah. We're off to a good start. Our next character is Kate.
Like you mentioned, Kate is the half-sister to Edwina, which is the woman that Anthony is trying to court. So Kate is also very hard-headed. Mm-hmm. She's very competitive. Mm-hmm. And she's a boss-ass bitch.
Yeah, exactly. And she has no care in the world to get married. She does not even care.
I do really like in the book that she loves her sister and her family. And I know that's mentioned in the show, but there's no doubt in the book of how much she loves her family and vice versa. Because I was so scared that her mom, not her real mom, Mary, would denounce her at one point for not being her actual daughter. But that never happened.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it didn't. That being said, I did not like Kate's character in the book. I thought that after a certain point, her character became very predictable and she just became a damsel. And
not the Mary Sue.
And I hated it. She lost everything I liked about her, and it followed the same pattern that Daphne did in Bridgerton. With the fact of after a certain point, they have no character anymore. They're just damsels.
You mean more so submissive to the husband?
Yeah.
Or boyfriend. I don't know.
And the thing about both of the books is they always say that these women are different. You know, they're not like the other women, but they are.
Mm-hmm.
They are. I did not like Kate's character.
I can respect that. I feel like if you watch the show, you're going to be really disappointed with the book with Kate's character.
Yeah.
Because she's not as fiery. She does challenge Anthony, but not as much as she does in the show. And I agree with Cheli that there was a certain point in the book where she was kind of just there. She was kind of just following along with anything that Anthony said. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but he told her, like, this relationship is not going to be about love. And she doesn't challenge that. She kind of just accepts it.
Yeah.
Anything that she does, it's like, well, that's my husband, and anything that he wants goes. And it's like, where did our stubborn Kate go?
Yep. I hated that.
And then there's also the whole thing with her fear of thunder that I have so many feelings about. My thing about these types of books is that sometimes there's always like one cliche in there.
Yeah.
And this is such a cliche.
Yeah.
Like just a character, usually the woman, being afraid of something and clutching onto this strong man for comfort. And while sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cute, it didn't really work for me in this book, mostly because the dynamic wasn't even there yet between them.
Yeah.
That part was really annoying to me. And it's not that I didn't like Kate as a whole, but I didn't like what she turned into.
Yes.
So I didn't really like her character at the end.
What about our next character, Edwina?
I'm sorry, who?
Okay, moving on.
Edwina didn't really have much of a character in the book.
No.
She was kind of just sprinkled in a little bit.
The thing is, I like the idea of this book. Like, I like the idea of, I'm going to try to get with this one, but I'm kind of into her sister. Like, I like the idea of Anthony struggling.
Period.
But Edwina, as soon as she figured out in the book that Kate and Anthony kind of had something going on, she was like, good for you.
Oh my God. Got him off my hands.
Yeah, and anyway, there's already another guy lined up for me. So, no harm done.
I don't feel anything towards it, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I was like, what the? There was no conclusion to that? Like, it was just completely fine?
No, she does end up talking to someone else, but I think that she was already talking to this person long enough where Anthony leaving her didn't really affect her. She was just kind of like, okay, I'm talking to someone else anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt weird. She felt like a weirdly placed character, even though she was supposed to be there. Did not hate Edwina in the book as much as in the show. So
I'm sorry. Edwina, my queen? Edwina, my girl?
Edwina, my queena?
How could you hate Edwina?
Edwina, my reina. Thank you.
We'll discuss that later, I guess.
We'll discuss it later. Not my favorite character.
I mean, like I said, there's nothing there.
And that's kind of it. We don't really have to mention anyone else. There's a lot of characters in this book. Who gives a fuck?
They're not really that developed in the book, though. It's kind of like the same with Anthony in the Duke and I book. In the first book, he wasn't really developed. He was just kind of there to get the plot going.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And you have to answer honestly.
I'll try.
So Julia Quinn made a 10, 9, 8, whatever, series book on Bridgerton, and it's all the siblings, like you mentioned. How do you feel that in the two books that we've read, it seems that the world only really revolves two characters. And she made a whole universe for it. But she never really gets into any of it.
I think that's a writing tactic, though, where if a writer only wants to focus on the couple, that's a thing, though.
I didn't know it was a thing. I just thought she didn't world build. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a thing. I don't know. I mean, it's just like a simple story. And it's just focused on the romance. Everyone else around them, irrelevant.
Okay, I respect that. So, I did want to break this down because, like I said, there's only one couple to talk about. But I did want to break this down to talk about certain scenes. First in the book, and then we can talk about what we felt about the show.
Okay.
So, one thing about the book that you can like or dislike, indifferent,
Mm-hmm.
is the dramatics of situations. So, for example, the thunder.
Mm-hmm.
So our character Kate is horrified of thunderstorms.
Like she screams about it.
Mm-hmm. And the first time she experiences a thunderstorm in this book, she actually hides under Antony's study table.
Mm-hmm.
And Antony and her have a little moment because he big spoons her under the table.
Yeah.
In front of God and everything.
Uh-huh.
How did you feel about that?
I didn't like that scene.
Why?
I don't like those types of scenes because I just feel like, oh, you're not even really reaching out to her because you want to. You just kind of feel bad for her. And then now that you guys are spooning, now you have to open up to each other because they did open up to each other for the first time in this scene where he starts talking about himself and she starts talking about herself. And then afterwards, you know what else I really didn't like? After a while, when the thunder stopped, he was like, okay, we can get up now. Oh my God, we were sitting down this entire time. I literally forgot that I was behind his desk. How do you forget that you're sitting behind the desk?
It's crazy because that's this entire book. There's dramatics like that like makes the characters act like children again. Mm-hmm. So there's that situation. But then think about the bee situation. So remember, Anthony's scared of bees because a bee killed his papa.
Okay,
So,
okay. That makes sense, though.
Okay, but when that happened, and I know it's a trauma for him, but when that happened so fucking quick with Kate being stung by a bee, and it was right by her titty, too.
I mean...
And he fucking pulled her shirt lower and just sucked on the sting in order to get it out, but he was sucking on her titty.
Yeah.
And not the only time he sucked on her titty, by the way.
Well, wouldn't you?
No, okay. No.
If you thought that somebody could die of a bee sting, you're telling me that you wouldn't suck a titty?
No, but okay, the thing I hated about it, and maybe it's just me not really liking historical romance books, but after it happened, Miss Featherington and Miss Bridgerton were walking by.
Lady Bridgerton, actually.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, and Lady Bridgerton were walking by, and they were like, "You were sucking on a titty? Marry her." And Anthony's like, "I got my hands tied here." So of course,
I mean, we have 3 witnesses here, you know?
Okay, let me... Kate, will you marry me?
Yeah, so...
That's so freaking dramatic, and it's so quick.
What is the guy supposed to do?
You
not marry
suck a
her?
titty, you marry a woman.
That seems right to me.
It's actually kind of romantic now that I think about it.
Yeah.
There was that dramatic.
Well, can I say how I felt about it?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay. So what's funny is that I had read this story about a year ago, right? So I started reading it, and I think I got to like 5 chapters, and then I started watching the show. Don't ask me why. It just happened that way. And then that whole bee scene happened, whatever. And then I went back to the book. I didn't finish the show. I went back to the book, and then the bee scene happened. And I was like, wait, hold on. They're engaged? They're engaged after the bee scene?
Yeah, suck a titty, get married.
I was just like, what the heck? It's all Lady Featherington's fault, by the way, because obviously Lady Bridgerton and Lady Danbury weren't going to squeal to anybody about this moment, but Lady Featherington looked like she was about to like, hop off and tell somebody.
You know what I appreciated from that scene, though?
What?
The fact that after it happened, Anthony was like, no one here is going to snitch, but if someone does, we know the bitch who did it. You know? I love that scene.
That was funny.
Oh my gosh.
He was like, bitch, I know it's you.
There was another dramatic. Oh, the carriage. The carriage toppling over. And
You're not You're gonna totally skip over Newton? So there's a moment when Anthony and Kate are walking Newton, and it's by force, okay? Don't think it's like a cute thing.
It's the corgi, by the way.
Yeah, so then Newton ends up running away from them, and it turns into this big old scene, and Anthony's like, Newton, where the fuck are you? And so Newton ends up running towards the lake, and guess who's there?
Oh.
Our girl Edwina and the guy who was, who took her out. And then I think Newton pushes Edwina to the lake.
Yeah, something like that.
Something really dramatic. And then Anthony was like, you know what, Kate, this is all your fault. Mm-hmm. Because why would we take Newton out for a walk? He's fine. He didn't need a walk.
Yeah, I hate it.
That whole scene was just like, why is this happening?
That's this whole book, though. Everything is super dramatic for no reason. Mm-hmm. And they fall in love so fucking quick. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's just a historical romance thing.
I mean, your options are very limited, so.
Yeah.
And Anthony was described to be very hot. Can you blame her? Yes, there was a lot of dramatic moments in this book, and then I think the most dramatic moment is the ending, or near the ending, with the carriage. Mm-hmm. And just a friendly reminder, Anthony is convinced that he's gonna die young. So when he gets married with Kate, he's like, girlie, this is a loveless marriage, okay? We're just gonna have sex, have babies, and that's it.
Yep.
And at first she's like, okay, cool, whatever, don't care. And he starts distancing himself when he realizes, wait, I think I am in love.
Yeah. So he's dramatic.
Yeah, so he starts distancing himself from her, right? But then the moment that he realizes, you know what? Even if I die tomorrow, I would much rather die knowing that Kate maybe possibly loves me. I don't know. And so he runs out into the street on his horse and he's looking for them, and then he ends up finding the carriage toppled over with Edwina, the guy who's courting Edwina, and Kate inside. And then Newton runs out of the carriage.
Damn. And for a second he thinks that Kate is dead. Mm-hmm. And because that's literally how the chapter ends. He sees his wife dead. Chapter 24. Oh my God. So he goes up to the carriage that's toppled over and he's like saying it out loud, and he's in tears, by the way. Mm-hmm. He's like, you didn't deserve to die first, Kate. You're the good one. You're the good one. You still have so much life. You're so young, Kate. And he's like going through everything and freaking out. And Kate literally like, I'm good. That's how it happened.
Which, by the way, Edwina and the guy are out. It's just Kate in the carriage
and
now.
By the way, no one helped Anthony. So he was over here doing it himself, and Edwina and lo que sea bags guy, he was just standing there like this. So it was like, are you not gonna help your sister?
No, Edwina was moving the horses.
Okay. You could have left the horses for last. Your sister is crushed.
No, because if the horses ran away, then what are we gonna do?
But isn't it kind of funny though? Because pulling Kate out, Anthony was like, I have you. Hold on to me. I have you. Then he pulled Kate, and she would wince, and it would hurt his heart because it was such a painful thing, you know? Mm-hmm. Kind of reminded me of the bush scene from Duke and I.
There was a lot of moments in this book where I was like, God damn, this is like the bush scene all over again. And you know what's so funny? When I first read this book, I remember thinking to myself, oh, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this one. I can't wait to see.
And she gets out, and her leg is hella fucked up.
It's broken.
Yeah, it's facing the wrong way.
Ew.
But Anthony's just like, oh my God, she's not going to fucking make it. Like, you know, they're going to, and he thinks about that. It's like, they're going to have to amputate it if it's not good. And he's like, Kate, don't look down. Don't look down. Look at me, okay? And
my eyes are up here.
Fucking Edwina, by the way, we're just like, Kate, are you okay? And Kate's like, look at my fucking foot, Edwina. Am I fucking okay? And she's like, no, I meant your complexion is a little green. And it's like, Edwina, not the fucking time for this, okay? I fucking
Edwina has priorities, okay? She's trying to help her sister out.
Edwina, no tan divina. I'm just saying.
Whoa.
I'm not a fan of that scene at all. And that was the end of the book. That was basically the end of the book, right? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Oh, and by the way, After Kate and her busted leg get out of that carriage, Anthony's like, Kate, I came here today to tell you that I love you.
That's why I
love
found
you,
you.
Kate. I love you, baby.
I love you, babe.
And
babe.
Oh, no, wait. No, even better. Because isn't it, she's still in the carriage. She's still under the carriage. And it's like, I love you. Now can I pull you out so you can say it to me? So it's like, what if she had said no? Would Anthony...
He would have left her there.
Been like, bitch. Just like, out. I'm out of here.
He's just like, you know what? You and your broken leg can stay here, okay?
You sure get out? Okay, you figure it out.
You can limp home, bitch.
You think your sister's gonna help you? Look at her. And it's just like her standing there.
A non-playable character.
She's like in that, like, T-pose. Is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
Love that for Edwina. Oh my gosh. I was so angry.
Aww.
I was so angry.
Aww. Why?
I just didn't like it. Over dramatic. Yeah, everything was. But why don't we talk about the lack of character and personality in Kate? How did you feel about that? When did you see it happen?
Probably after they became engaged. And then it just turned into this weird thing of, I'm just going to shut up and just be here for my husband. I'll just be here for my husband. And that was her whole character. She didn't really have any thoughts in that beautiful head of hers.
No, she didn't. She was just there to please her husband. And, like, the fact that we figure out that Anthony had, like, jobs to do, so he was never at home. But then he reveals that he didn't actually have jobs to do that were that time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
He just could
have been at home.
He just chose not to be at home because,
if you're at home, you might fall in love with your wife, God forbid.
And you're supposed to distance yourself from your wife because too much time with your wife is too, like...
It's too much.
It's too much. I hate that Kate never brought that up. She never brought up, like, why the fuck are you never home? I know you're not just writing in your study, bitch. What does he even write about?
Who are these other bitches?
Yeah, let me know. Let me know. Names. I want names.
Yeah, I wanted her to be a more interesting character. She was just so flat. I kind of wish that they would have the same banter that they did in the show, because then it would have been more fun.
Yeah, it would have. How did you feel about her scene where she had a nightmare and she was having a full-on conversation? Like, no, mama. No, don't do it.
Oh
no.
my God, that scene was so freaking cringy. I literally was listening to it when I was at work and I was like, oh my God, I just need to stop. I need a moment.
Yeah.
And even what happens afterwards. So now that we're in this scene topic, the book focused a lot on Anthony's fear of death and Kate's fear of thunder.
Yeah.
So we even find out that she has this fear of thunder because her mother died during a thunderstorm. And when she went into the bedroom, she saw her mother, like, sit up and, like, it looked like she screamed, but it was actually the thunder. Yes. And so that's why she has this phobia of it, which makes sense. It makes sense. Mm-hmm. It makes sense.
It does make sense.
But I just really didn't like how overdramatic it was.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that the story would have picked something, would have just picked a better topic, I guess. Mm-hmm. I understand what it was going for. It wanted to show that both of the characters had a fear, like a fear that would really hinder them. Obviously, Kate does get over her fear when she realizes why she even fears this to begin with. And then Anthony gets over it once he realizes, you know what? With love you can do anything.
Yeah, truly.
But no, I didn't like that scene.
Can I ask if we can do something different? Can we talk about our overall rating of the book and then talk about the show?
Yeah, we can do that.
Because I don't think I have anything else I want to mention from the book unless you do.
No, I think I'm pretty much good. If you read this book,
good luck.
Good luck, and it ain't the same as the show.
Oh wait, I do have one question. The first time after they get married, the first time when Kate is like, I want to take things slow. Can you give me a week? Do they end up having sex that same day?
I don't remember.
Because if I remember correctly, and if I'm wrong, someone correct me. I think she says that. She's like, can you give me a week? And he's like, I can't give you a week. You don't even know what you're agreeing on. And he basically starts touching her, and then they have sex. So he didn't even respect her enough to, like, know what to do. Oh, my God. I hated that. I hated that so much. Anyway.
I have no comment on that.
Overall rating. I listened to this book in like 3 or 4 days, and I finished it today.
It's like such a basic book. How did it take you this long?
Oh, I was listening to it like little by little in work. And anytime my coworker came in, I was like, nope.
Oh, okay.
Not about to listen to inhaling a titty at work. So I'm good.
When he was sucking out the stinger.
Yeah, but he also just sucked her whole titty. Aww.
You suck a titty once, and all of a sudden.
Love that for him. Anyway, overall, I did not really like this book. Kate had so much potential. So it makes me sad that they completely destroyed her character. I will admit, though, I liked the story better than I did Duke and I. I think the book I'm going to give a rating of 2 out of 5.
Wow, that's higher than I would have expected. I know I said 1.5 to 2. Or
you said 0.5 to 1.
No, I didn't.
Damn.
I didn't say 0.5.
Roll back the tape.
0.5 is... We can't even do that on Goodreads.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I want to fight now.
Go ahead. What did you give it?
Even though I said what I said, I still thought you might have gone lower because, again, your brain, your beautiful brain, unpredictable.
Okay, go ahead. What do you think?
The first time I read this story, it was freaking torture. A year ago, absolute torture. I don't even know how long it took me to get through it, but I remember I sent you an audio note. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I was like, when you read this story, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this stupid thunder. I think I did say thunder.
Yeah.
I think. And here we are talking about thunder. I did not like this reading experience. I did like Anthony's character, but then again, we are comparing it with Duke and I, and like, is that a fair comparison? I don't know.
Yeah.
Kate was bland. Edwina was bland. I wish the love story was stronger. I wish they wouldn't have gotten married so quickly. I wish they wouldn't have fallen in love so quickly. But like you, I preferred it over the Duke and I.
Yeah.
But that's, again,
not really much.
Not really much to go off of. I'd probably rate it like a 1.6.
Damn. Okay, almost the same.
Yeah.
Okay, but now let's switch.
Now let's talk about the Netflix show.
Before we do, what do you think I'll rate the Netflix show?
Okay, well, you didn't watch the entire thing, so...
No, I didn't.
Is that a fair rating?
I watched when I needed to.
I think, based on what you saw, I think you would give it... a 3.6.
3.6 out of 5.
Yeah.
I think you would probably give it the same thing. Actually, 3.64.
What?
I think you would.
Okay. You can't just copy my rating for you.
Sorry. So the thing about the Netflix show, it does change a lot.
It changes the super cringy moments. Thank God.
How did you feel about the Netflix show? Any like big points you want to note?
Okay, so I just want to say that the main difference from the book to the show, we already said what the characters were tackling in the book. But in the show, let's go with Anthony first. So Anthony did have a fear of his mortality, but it wasn't a big deal, and he didn't really talk about it. He did think that his main thing was that he didn't want to feel the same pain that his mother did when his mother lost the dad. When the dad died, the mother was completely distraught, and Anthony was like, that ain't gonna be me.
Yep.
That ain't gonna be me. I'm not gonna fall in love because all it causes is heartbreak. So that's why he doesn't want to find love. Meanwhile, Kate, similar to the book, She doesn't really care about getting married. Her main thing is making sure that Edwina finds a good husband who loves her. But also, Kate does this thing with the grandparents where they strike up a deal. And if Edwina marries a good husband, the grandparents are going to give them like a dowry for the whole family.
Yeah.
So there are more, there's a little bit more of an intention behind it, but she does mean well for her sister.
Yep. There was one thing I didn't like in this story, because in the book, it's explained that no matter what happened, so like losing Edmund, losing Mr. Bridgerton, the family still loved each other. And I mean, the family loves each other in the show too. But after Edmund dies, Violet says to Anthony, like, there's no point in living without my husband. And it's like, bitch, you got freaking like 30 kids. Like, I can't believe you just said that to Anthony.
I kind of get it though. She's in mourning and she really loved him.
I know, but still, you have so many kids. She didn't even say sorry.
Why would she? She's mourning.
Because you're the mom.
So?
You have 8 kids. You gotta know how to handle this.
There's 8 kids. They can take care of each other, okay? And Anthony is pretty much almost an adult. So he's good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's fine.
I do appreciate how long it took for Kate and Anthony to get together.
Damn, the tension in the Netflix show was thick.
And the pinky thing, the thing where they're like...
They did that Pride and Prejudice thing where their hand... Don't touch me.
No,
where their hand...
Get close.
No.
Just like a little
Are
tap.
we talking about the same pinky scene?
No, yeah, where it's like they walk by each other and it's just like...
And he like stretches his hand out and their pinkies almost touch. Oh my God, that scene... I don't know why, but I think it was Pride and Prejudice that made that scene really big, right?
Yep. The hand
because he made his hand into a fist and he was like, God damn. Yep. I could have held her hand, but I didn't.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What about that scene?
I was saying that I appreciated the slow burn.
Oh, yes.
For them to get to that point of them finally being together.
It was such a slow burn that I actually started to question, do they get together in this book? Because we were at the last episode and I was like, what the heck?
Why aren't they together yet? And there's only 20 minutes left of the episode. So what do you expect to happen?
I was literally scared. I was like, did I like waste 8 hours of my life for them to not even end up together?
Waste? A very interesting word for you to use. But you know what?
Don't read into
Talking
that.
about waste. Let's talk about Edwina. So
do not come for my girl Edwina, okay?
The thing is,
she was a little angel, so proper, so sweet.
She pulled the half sister card when she got mad at Kate. She was like, half sister, actually.
Well, they are half sisters.
I know,
actually.
But when you say that to someone when you're having a fight, it's like, you know what? You've never brought that up. You've never brought that up. And the thing is...
Because she's mad at her.
I understand, but it wasn't even Kate's fault. And if you grew up knowing your sister and loving your sister, you really gonna believe Anthony? I didn't think she was important. Like, her being there, she just ruined everything. It's kind of Anthony's fault.
Oh my God. Okay.
But I liked well, how'd you feel about Edwina?
I loved Edwina. I loved her relationship with Kate. And it's funny because you said that you thought there was more love in the book. I disagree. I think there's more love in the show. I agree that moment did hurt where she said, half sister. But when you fight with your sibling, you will say something that will hurt them.
Yeah, that's cutthroat.
And she went as low as she could. And while I do... dare I say love Kate's character in the show, I did not like how she went about that whole situation with the Sheffields and then Anthony. Like, she could have just told her sister the truth. And I understand why Edwina was so pissed off at her, because you literally let a wedding almost happen and you didn't even tell her that you almost kissed him. Yeah. I would have been so mad at my sister if she did that. It hurts more with the sibling than it would Anthony. Anthony's a stranger. He's just some guy.
Okay, you got me. You got me. You got me on the Edwina train. I don't really care much for her, but I mean, I get what you're saying.
She's a little angel, okay? I love her.
I love the actress for her. I thought all the actors were very well picked for all the people.
Oh my God.
But anything else you want to mention about the show? Music? Poppin'.
Bob. Oh my God. The music was so good.
Dude.
I loved the music.
Yeah.
Okay, so something else that happened in the show. How did you feel about Daphne trying to give Anthony advice in love?
I mean, I kind of like the continuation of, the audience saw my story. So here's my perspective on it. It's like, it's cute. It is cute sibling talks. And I did really like when they were in the study and Daphne brought up like, oh, if you feel like they're the only person you can look at and, you're
breathing for them.
Yeah, exactly.
They're your light, lighting the way.
And then Anthony was like, oh, well, I don't think about
Edwina like that. And he was like, well, thanks, sis. Now I know who not to pick.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I did like that scene. I didn't mind that they gave each other advice.
Yeah, well, bouncing off of that, I really loved how this season showed more on the Bridgertons, like the relationship between all of them. And I know you didn't really like see all of the moments between them, but I really liked all of Eloise's moments with Benedict. And it's so funny because when Benedict and Eloise would have moments together in the first season, it just went over my head. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But in this one, I was like, oh my God, wait, he's like always by her side. And when she was forced to be at these balls, he would be like, all right, sis, let's go over here before this weird guy asks you to dance.
Oh, yeah, that was really
and then they have other moments when they're on the swings. They had that moment again in this season, and I thought it was really cute. And then I liked how they included Gregory a little bit more.
Yeah.
My poor girl Hyacinth wasn't included, but it's fine.
It's fine.
There was a moment when Anthony was hugging Gregory, and he was like telling him about his dad and how great of a dad he was. Because remember, Gregory didn't get to experience him. And like you said, I did like that Daphne was still integrated in these moments. So they felt like a big family.
Yeah. I like the first scene of the entire show, too. When they're all standing by the door and they're like waiting for Eloise to come out because it's her first time going for the season of being married. And everyone's like, oh my God, should we go in there? Like, what do we do? And she comes out and she's like, no one fucking say anything.
No one fucking look at me, okay? How do you feel about Eloise's character in comparison to what you saw in the book? It was snippets.
Yeah.
But her character seemed completely different.
Well, her character didn't have any interest in anything with getting married in the book, right? If I remember correctly. She
doesn't mention marriage, but she's not as rebellious as she is in the show.
No, she's not. She's just kind of there. There for the vibes. And they're being like, Kate, come get your husband. Like...
He's just been hanging around here. And
I mean, I like her in the book, but the Bridgertons in the show have more character to them, which I don't mind if they're different in that sense, because as of now, in the book, Eloise has not really much character to herself. Yeah. Can I talk about a scene I liked?
Yeah.
I liked the scene where they go to the racehorse place, the racehorse derby, and Kate gets asked to be accompanied by this one guy, and it turns out that Anthony had paid that guy to ask Kate to walk with him. And, it's just kind of like, oh, fuck you. So later, that guy actually feels really bad that he was basically bribed to distract Kate, and he's like, you know what? Why don't we go on a boat ride? Let's go on a boat ride. And Anthony is just like, talking to Edwina. And it's funny. It's like, pushes her face. What the fuck? Hold on, Edwina. Stop talking about Edgar Allan Poe for 1 second. What the fuck?
Edgar Allan Poe?
Because, she always talked about her books.
Why
I don't
it
know.
would not be Edgar Allan Poe?
I don't know. But, okay, whatever. But he was just looking. And it was funny because, they're like in the boat ride and whoever the guy was is like rowing the boat. And he's like, yeah, I got to show you all these things. And Kate's like, yeah, for sure. Stretching, I don't know. And just Anthony just staring at her like, what the fuck? And Edwina's still talking over here like, whatever. And then he goes over to the boats and the guy's tying the ropes in order for him to get out. And Anthony's like, you fucking bitch, you didn't even tie it right. You see that? That's not even a double knot. What is that? Tie your shoe here? And he like reties it and then he reaches out to get Kate's hand.
Mm-hmm.
So cute.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that scene.
Yeah, I know, because you like jealousy.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
And then he falls into the lake.
That fall was really dramatic though.
Well, they got to bring a little bit of the drama from the book.
Fucking Newton.
Fucking Newton. Always getting in the fucking way.
Is there any scene that you liked?
I really liked all of the tension between them and all of those freaking moments when you thought they were going to kiss and they fucking didn't. I really liked how Anthony spoke to her. For a man who's not really poetic, he was very poetic with her. Everything he said was literal gold.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn, tattoo that on
What was
me.
that one quote that you said with it when I was watching?
Oh yeah, wait, I gotta pull it up because it's actually a long quote. I'm not gonna read the whole thing.
Okay, go ahead and read
unless
the whole
you want me to. It's a long quote, but I'm gonna give you the
rundown.
The highlight. He tells her, "You are the bane of my existence and the object of all my desires." That's how he starts the whole spiel.
Oh my god,
and
yeah.
anytime he would speak to her, I was like, wait. Edwina's on the other side. Hold on.
And I felt like her fall was a little more dramatic in the show.
Really?
It was dumb, but if you've ever fallen off of a horse, you can like break a leg.
Yeah,
with the force. So I thought it was dramatic. But
I mean, being under a carriage, being buried under a carriage, it hits different.
You know what was one thing I wished happened but never did? You know that little room that all of the Bridgertons sit in when they're like men are coming to court the sisters? I wish there was a scene where they were all sitting and Anthony just comes in and everyone's like, oh, Edwina. And he's like, I fucking like Kate, bitch. Like, I wish he would have had that scene where he tells his siblings first and they just kind of like are there for him. I wanted that. But no. I didn't get it. Whatever.
They just didn't think that through, you know?
Oh, gosh. And
he's the eldest. He's not gonna... Why would the eldest tell the siblings, like, oh my god, you guys, I think I like Kay. I think I like Kay. That'd be weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
What I really appreciated about this season of Bridgerton was the representation for South Asians.
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice. And I mean, it meant a lot in the first season too, of course, with them casting Simon as a black actor. Because I mean, in the book, if you read the book, everybody's white.
He's a white man.
Everyone's white.
Yeah.
And I do really love that they kept it going with the second season, but they, spiced it up. They changed it. Kept us on our toes.
I liked it too. And I saw a post on TikTok, the one I was going to show you, where this lady's like, it's really nice to see, like, a show actually showing traditions. So it's like, calm down.
Yeah, and
good to be seen.
Yeah. And you just, obviously we already know that there is such a lack in diversity well, I mean, it's better now, but But seeing people get excited when they can, see themselves or see their culture on such a huge scale. I mean, Bridgerton is so massive. It's like really heartwarming. And I really love that. And I'm really happy that they did that. And I hope that they continue to do that in the next seasons if there's other ones.
I do have one last thing I want to ask you. How do you feel about the Queen?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about her because in the first season, it kind of threw me off that she was added to the story. I do think she has like, I do think she adds something interesting to the story, but at the same time in this season, especially because she's trying to crack down who Lady Whistledown is, and while I totally get it,
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn girl, let my Lady Whistledown write in her quill and all that. Like, let her be. I think overall I do like her though.
Okay. I love that for you.
You don't like her, do you?
No. I don't like her character. But I mean, whatever. She doesn't bug me. I just like don't listen to her parts. I think I'm done. Are you done?
Yeah. Are you excited for the next Bridgerton?
Yeah. Oh my god. Of course I am.
Do you know who it is?
Colin? No, Benedict. Yeah. I forget what his is called. The Gentleman's something affair, isn't it?
The Gentleman's Offer.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, not like
I know.
Not like I'm a stan or anything. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Final question.
What?
How do you feel about Penny?
I don't like Penelope.
Penny F.
I don't like Penelope.
Why? You don't like her writing?
I just
You're not a fan?
I just think Penelope's like kind of nosy. And I know that's her whole, I know that's her whole thing, but it's just like, oh my god, I hate this place, but
what's going on?
What are you saying, bitch? Better not be saying any shit about Colin. Like, I don't know. I just think her character's weird. I don't think it's executed well.
Yeah, I remember watching the first season and being completely turned off that they revealed it was Penelope.
I'm still mad that Eloise found out that Penelope is Lady Whistledown.
Lady Whistle?
Lady Whistledown, Society Papers, 1814.
I mean, are you surprised? I mean, that girl had a whole board in her room. She was like, all right, let me track her down.
Yeah, you're right. But still, I hated that. I didn't like Penelope. Fuck that. How do you feel overall?
How do I feel?
Rating out of 5.
Out of 5? Oh my god, I have to be honest. I was so excited about this season. Wait, I already said it during the Duke and I episode, which if you haven't listened or watched it, you totally should.
Yeah, you should.
I said it in that episode too. I really enjoyed the season of Bridgerton, the first season.
I did too. I did too. It was different, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
I mentioned that I actually got emotional watching the first season of Bridgerton. But not with the book, of course.
Where?
Okay,
where was the emotion?
Keep going.
And so I binged the second season because I was so excited. And literally, dude, I was like on the edge of my bed. I was just like, oh my god, when are they going to kiss though?
Yeah.
And then at the end, I was so excited. I would probably rate this like a 4.9.
Oh my god!
It's like really good.
Hello, Bridgerton?
Wait, actually no, I take that back. Because I did really love it. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. The part where it was starting to lose me was that whole Eloise thing and
Theo
and Penny from the block. And then the fact, oh, you know what else? I just remembered. I'm sorry. I just remembered. It just hit me. I actually hated that whole wedding thing. I was like, why are we this far? Why are we here?
Yeah.
When that whole thing was happening and Edwina's heart was being broken left and right, I was like, there's no way they're going to get married in the next episode, which is the last episode. So I was very confused.
Even the resolution sucked because it was just the queen going like, go dance with them. And it's like, oh yeah, we love them, queen. It's like, no.
Pop off, queen. So I did really love it overall. The ending, questionable. But not between the couple, just like everything else around them.
Okay.
I would still give it like a 4.6.
I also really liked it. I liked watching it.
I know, I could tell.
The thing is, I liked watching the first season too. I binged it also. So I did really like watching it. I didn't really mind too much of it. Edwina was not my favorite. I think I would rate this because I actually really liked Anthony in this one. Maybe
he was kind of hot. I was surprised.
Maybe a 4 out of 5.
Okay. Wait. That's better than I thought.
3.9. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 3.9.
What does it matter?
I'm sorry. It's a 3.9.
3.99. Thank you.
994. Okay. Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
Oh my
Look
God.
at us.
You're so funny.
Do you think you'd read the third book if it wasn't for the podcast? Just you.
No.
You're gonna wait.
Well, actually, now I'm curious.
I kind of want to read Hyacinths just to see what the last one would be like.
Don't skip. You can't skip siblings like that. I think the one that I'm most excited to read is Collins.
Collins, yeah, that's true.
Well, Eloise too, because I'm curious to see if she's anything like the show.
I don't think she will be.
Like, did they take any inspiration from her character in the show?
Mm-hmm. But thank you so much for watching our episode. It's nice to revisit old things.
I know, it was really nice. We're back.
We're back, bitch. So if you are listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music, or anywhere you listen to podcasts on, thank you. Why don't you leave a review and rating? Because that really helps. And also, that'd be really cool of you.
It'd be really sweet. We'd really appreciate it. And especially if you gave us 5 stars, specifically on Spotify, we'd really, really appreciate that.
Thank you. If you want to tell your friends, families, and loved ones about us, why don't you go ahead and do that? Because being exposure, that happens more through word of mouth. Mm-hmm. If you are watching us on YouTube, hi. And also, thank you. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Who's your favorite Bridgerton? Go ahead and tell us in the comments. If you want to turn on the notification bell, it'll tell you when we post. We usually post every Tuesday. But it would be really nice to hear from you guys. Oh, we are also on social media. So if you wanted to follow us on TikTok and Instagram, it would be at StoryandThings. StoryandThings. That's all I have to say. We're going to go ahead and end our episode the way we always do, with a dice roll. So the way we do this is if the number is even, we are going to read a positive review on Goodreads. If it is odd, we're going to read a negative review on Goodreads. We are not connected to these reviews. It's just how it is. So after we read it, we're going to leave it in the air, and then we'll see you next week. So let's go ahead and roll the dice. Our number is
4.
Positive.
Let's see. This review is written by Frine on Goodreads. They rated it a 4 out of 5 stars, and they write, pure, unadulterated entertainment. I can tell I am going to love this series. The author has a talent for writing amusing dialogue, and her characters are all so charming. One very interesting thing about this story was that Miss Quinn did not stoop to stereotypes. The stepmother was not wicked, but was much loved, and her daughter and stepdaughter also got along really well. It was a nice touch. The Bridgerton family are marvelous, always bickering and teasing each other, but still very much together. Collins stood out in this book, and I look forward to eventually reading about his journey towards matrimony. These are ideal books for reading when you just want to have some good, clean fun.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
Bye. You know, maybe you should have bought in all of the books as a set. Looks like that's where we're heading.
I have a confession to make.
They're actually under this chair.
No, look under your chair.
You get a book series and you get a book series.
Love that.